Hi, my name is Daniel Cantry. I'm a student at HCC, and what I have in my hand is an empty water bottle. Now, we are experiencing an ecological crisis of our own making, like never seen before in the history of mankind. Our need to consume has increased demands for products causing harmful side effects. My goal is to persuade you to recycle used items, demand that the companies you buy from are doing all they can to be eco-friendly, and if all possible, refrain from consuming, preserving those finite resources for future generations. Now, in fact, if the more than 7 billion people who populate the planet all lived like the average person in the United States, we would need a landmass of almost 5 Earths to sustain everyone. And that comes from the Environmental Science for a Changing World, 3rd edition, written by Susan Carr. Now, before I go forward, I want to let you or speak to you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in New York City, and I love New York. As you can imagine, big skyscrapers, and I lived near South Street Seaport, right near the water, overlooking, looking to Brooklyn. I lived right next to the Brooklyn Bridge, and I would look, I'd walk around the FDR, and I would see barges, big boats, coming in and out the harbor with trash, huge heaps of trash, plastic bottles, all just trash leaving the city. And I also lived in small towns in Georgia. I moved, my mother moved, and we went, and I went with her. And we lived in small towns in Georgia, a couple thousand people. And what I've noticed there as well is they had a pollution problem too. They would throw their trash in dumpsters, just areas where they had dumpsters, and then they would take their trash and just dump it. And a lot of this trash ended up everywhere, polluted, basically. In fact, I would see some cars just chuck their trash and into the dumpsters. Now, some of it made it, some of it didn't. But what I'm trying to say is that urban areas, suburban areas, rural areas, what I've noticed is an issue with pollution, an issue with the mindset of the individuals on how they look and perceive pollution. Now, my first step of finding a solution or relieving our pollution problem is just recycling. For example, Scotland has a very interesting initiative. They call it Zero Waste Scotland. And what it is, there's a deposit on each bottle that you buy. Each plastic bottle you buy, there's a 20-cent deposit. Now, you could get that deposit back by taking the bottle and putting it into a machine, or returning it, recycling machine, and it'll give you back your 20 cents. Now, according to an article, and now the article name's pretty long, so bear with me. Scotland introduces bottle return program that could result in the recycling of 11 million containers annually, written by Emily Holbrook. According to that article, almost 31,000 fewer plastic bottles litter Scotland per day. That's huge. Now, can you imagine the United States, right, as big as we are, if we could take that initiative or something like it and start really looking into recycling, that would make a big impact. Because again, according to Environmental Science for a Changing World, 3rd edition, if everybody consumed the way we do, we would lead in a landmass of almost 5 Earths. Now that's pretty hard to swallow, but that is in essence true. Now, also the next step is it's important for companies who you buy from also recycle or have an eco-friendly approach. And what I mean by that is Are they recycling their waste? When they make this bottle, when this company makes this bottle, when they produce it, what happens to the byproduct? Are they using that? Are they recycling back in, or keeping it from, leaking out into the environment? Also take into consideration the water that's being used. Everything that's being manufactured takes a lot of water. And are they using that water? Are they recycling that back? They could use it for energy, or just back into new products. That is very important to know, and also to demand. Also, buyback options. Are these companies, are they giving us a solution to, once the life of the product is over with, are they giving us an option to bring this product back, and they're able to either recycle it back or discard it in a safe and eco-friendly manner? Now, at the heart of the problem is our consumption habits. We like to purchase new things. That is just the way we are. And it takes 1,800 gallons of water to make a pair of jeans, and that's a lot of water. Considering water is we only have 3% of the world's water that's actually drinkable. So using that 18 gallons of water to make a pair of jeans, it really goes a long way in affecting our environment. Learning to shop consignment might help that. Learn to go, and you will save money on the product, and you'll also be helping to reduce consumption and also waste. Now, every couple months, it seems like there's a new cell phone coming out, and the materials on the phone that make the material, or the materials are finite. A lot of the materials are finite, means that they're not going to be around if we keep using them. And at this rate, we can run out of those materials. Another issue is farming. We are, right now, what we're doing is we're putting a lot of fertilizer into our crops, especially with corn and soybeans, which there's a lot of those farms near the Mississippi River, and a lot of that fertilizer runs off into the Mississippi, makes its way into the Gulf, and creates dead zones, and it depletes the oxygen in the water, killing the local ecosystems. Now that is increasing, and it's increasing concern as well. So the good thing is that there's options and there's solutions that we can do. It could be as simple as recycling your plastic items, shopping at consignment stores, and understanding that it is okay not to have the latest phone that's out. And the benefits is changing the consumption patterns are cleaner air, cleaner oceans, saving our forests from deforestation, and saving those ecosystems that they provide. Now, it takes all of us to take a stand and do our part for a better tomorrow. The health of our planet and the future of our children are at stake. Thank you so much for sticking around. Have a good evening.